Everyone, and welcome to Scouting the League. It's Tuesday, the 17th of March. Wave 2 of free agency now rolling along as teams across the NFL continue to shape out their rosters. We all know about the big names, Maxx Crosby included in that one. And last week with Ronnie McGill, we talked good deal, bad deal, as well as deals across the league. What happens in free agency? Deals continue to come in. So we will check on the landscape of free agency, all the work that is being done by pro departments that will affect the 2026 NFL draft. But first, before we jump in with those, let me remind you to head over, like, subscribe, share this podcast wherever you're listening and watching. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube and wherever else you are listening. That really helps us out. Make sure you comment as well, as we love to hear from you. Really helps us out as well. Make sure you head over, give me a follow at Right Step ADV is where you can find me. Rodrik David, of course. My website, rsafootball.com. Make sure if you're a scout or aspiring scout, you need resources, you need information that maybe you can't find anywhere else. It's all at thescoutingcommunity.com. Go sign up today. Hit me a message. Let's talk more about what we can do to help you wherever you are at in your scouting journey. And make sure you check out our partners over at bluemaca.com for the best insoles that will upgrade every pair of shoes you have. Use code SCOUTING20 at checkout to get a little discount. Let them know we sent you. Again, they are going to upgrade your shoes, upgrade performance, non-slip insoles, recovery insoles, plantar fascia, or turf toe insoles. Again, they have it all for you. We did an episode with their Chief Innovation Officer, Stuart Jenkins, back last year. Make sure you go check that one out. It is all at bluemaca.com. Check out the show notes for that scouting code as well. So let's get into it. Free agency this year with the Las Vegas Raiders. Las Vegas, of course, a team that fully expect to hit that number one pick and go ahead and go out and grab quarterback Fernando Mendoza. And you can see with their draft, with their free agency process, they certainly had that in mind. They were very active. And again, we'll get to Maxx Crosby and no extra draft picks, but potentially you can look at it just say, hey, they get Maxx Crosby back. That's one of the better pass rushers in the NFL. Maybe a deal still gets done for him. Maybe there's a team that wants to turn around and do something with Max. We'll find out as the weeks go. But again, they go out, they add kind of hybrid fullback, running back, tight end, Connor Hayward. They sign wide receiver Jalen Naylor. Again, you start getting and adding weapons for the young quarterback. The big one in this group, center Tyler Linderbaum, signs a 3-year, $81 million deal as being reported. And that is an experienced top-end center in the NFL that is going to take a lot off the plate of a young quarterback. Again, as you start thinking a guy that is probably going to be expected to step in and start week one. Again, I would make the argument that, again, you want to avoid that as many times as you can. Mendoza may be the exception to that rule based on his maturity, what he's been through, what he was asked to do at Indiana. But again, adding a really veteran in center, Tyler Linderbaum, as his pivot up front again is really big. Again, it goes back. Matt Ryan, a veteran, greatly benefited from the Alex Mack signing as the Atlanta Falcons went on the Super Bowl run. Again, I don't expect a Super Bowl run from the Raiders right away, but again, the center addition is going to be big for that quarterback's development and just really solidifying that offensive line. The Raiders, we continue to go. They re-signed Malcolm Kuntz, edge rusher. They go out and add Kwity Paye, who is a nice rotational, nice piece, not your premier. Maybe you're okay with them as number 2, number 3 type. Really fits in well with what they're going to do on that D-line. Again, get those guys running through there. You go out, sign linebacker Nakobe Dean, 3-year deal. Quay Walker signs a 3-year deal, really upgrade that linebacker unit. You go out and trade for Teron Johnson. That's a nice signing. Eric Stoltz resigns, Matt Gay resigns, and again, you kind of fill the roster out. You've got to add some top-end pieces, which they certainly went out and did. Again, you see a lot of these 2-3-year deals. 3-year deals really become 2-year deals in the NFL. You start thinking about, well, what's the reason? Well, you got Brock Bowers, you got Ashton Jeanty, you got some of these guys who are going to be contract guys at some point, front loaded. Now you still have some cap room. Again, that was the big question when the Maxx Crosby deal falls through. Well, where are you at cap wise? Well, the Raiders are in a situation where it's not going to be difficult to wiggle and find the room. They have the room already. But again, restructuring that Maxx Crosby deal may be a good way to smooth things out and get the cap exactly where you wanted it. Because again, not quite as much room as you would have thought you had before. But again, maybe they, move a bunch into a nice signing bonus, move it up front, maybe spread that cap hit out a little bit. Again, you now expect Max to be on your roster because I don't know if anybody else is giving up the 2-1s for him. Again, maybe it will happen. At this point, you have to assume Max is going to be on your team, so you're doing the work from a cap standpoint. But again, we'll see if anything shakes out in that way. So again, the Raiders, very active, have a plan. You go and get that pivot for your quarterback and kind of see where everything's going to go from there. So with that, the Raiders are certainly doing good things. After the Raiders, we're going to pivot over to the Super Bowl runners-up, number 2 team in the league, number 1 AFC team, the New England Patriots. Again, another active team, another team that went out, filled some holes, answered some questions across the board. Again, I said going into the Super Bowl, the Seahawks team was a year behind. They have certainly gone quality over quantity, but again, some of these pieces really fit, I think, what you expect the Patriots to do. Go out, sign Elijah Vera Tucker, again, an offensive lineman who, when he's healthy, has been one of the better guards, better players in the NFL. It's his position. Again, a 3-year, $42 million. Again, solidify that offensive line, help Drake May feel a little bit more comfortable back there. They go out and sign fullback Reggie Gilliam. The move that I really like, Romeo Doubs. Again, Stephon Diggs, good player, contract. Again, more than 1 year of Stephon Diggs. We've seen kind of how that story goes. Romeo Doubs now, again, has had some questions in Green Bay with the way he handled some stuff. But again, he signs a 4-year, $70 million contract. Should be one of those go-to guys for your young quarterback that really fits in some of the off script, some of the elongated, extended plays that Drake May likes to play in. So again, go out, sign Romeo Doubs. That's a good sign. You sign Julian Hill, tight end. You sign Draymond Jones on the defensive line, gets 39.5 over 3. Again, that's a nice move and kind of a versatile inside-outside defensive lineman that I know Coach Vrabel is going to use and like well. And then the big one that seems like a perfect move for the way this Patriots team likes to work is Kevin Byard. Again, a ball hawk, a guy that knows how to go take the ball away, fits in a lot of different roles. Again, you go old school with some of those Patriot teams that Mike Vrabel was a part of. You think about some of the versatile safeties that were playmakers that really answered a lot of questions for that defense. Again, the Patrick Chungs, I'm going to draw a full blank on his name. Again, you find some of these guys that really answer those questions. Again, that's what Kevin Byard seems to be for this Patriots. So again, quality over quantity for this Patriots team that's looking to make those right next steps to get back to the Super Bowl in the AFC. And the last team we'll talk about this today is the 49ers, a team, again, are they one piece away as new signed Mike Evans would say they are? Well, I'm not sure about that. But again, the pieces that this 49ers team have added will certainly help them get back and maybe take that step to get back to the top of the NFC that they want. Again, Mike Evans, 3-year deal. Again, regardless of what anybody wants to say, this was on Todd Bowles, on Baker Mayfield, on Jason Light. Again, Mike Evans, I'm sure, had the chance to sign there. He ultimately chose to go elsewhere. The Buccaneers may have done everything they could have to sign him. Mike may have just chosen to go elsewhere for whatever reasons he chose. Again, you can't, it's easy to sit on the sidelines and look back and say, oh, well, the Buccaneers should have done more. Again, I'm not going to get into any of that conversation. Again, the 49ers won and went out, made a really nice 3-year deal offer for him. So again, the 49ers add that piece. Really nice one for Brock Purdy. Again, you go outside Vidarian Lowe, kind of a swing guy, Brett Tall swing guy. The move I love for this team, Osa Digizua out of Dallas, a trade for him, 3rd-round pick. Love this pick. Osa was a guy I loved coming out of UCLA, has been one of the better interior rushers, really uses his hands well. I think he is going to be a great piece on that defensive line that, again, needs to not just, get better, but get some pieces healthy. If he's part of that group, that could be a really good front for that defense as everything kind of changes over once again in San Francisco on the defensive side. And you talk about a re-signing for a linebacker, you get Dre Greenlaw back, who underwhelming year last year. Again, the best football Dre Greenlaw played was in San Francisco. So again, nice to get him back, get him comfortable, getting him doing his thing. Nate Hobbs signs a 1-year deal. Good outside corner. You get John Weeks back, long snapper. You get the kicker back. You get a punter back. Again, this 49ers team should be locked and loaded. They should be right back to where they were. Again, you're talking, hey, let's get to the playoffs. Let's make our run. Let's do it this year. This is a team that I really like making a run down the stretch, and we'll see where everything ends up ultimately. So again, the 49ers are a team that has had a plan, goes out, executes on the plan really nice. On the flip side, you got some really quiet teams, which again, it's easy to be like, oh, they should be doing more. Again, there's gonna be plenty of people that want to beat them up, talk about, hey, they're just sitting on their hands. But again, they got a plan. They know their plan. They know the way they're going to execute. The Jaguars, the Broncos, the Eagles, the Vikings. Again, if you consider that Kyler move a big one, maybe they haven't been quiet. But again, not the numbers, not the big names. Teams that have done a little bit on the back end, but really haven't gone out, broken the bank, done a ton. The Seahawks, returning Super Bowl champions, they've really make one move, get wide receiver Rashid Shaheed back on what I consider a fantastic value, 3 for $51 deal there at wide receiver to keep him with Sam Darnold. Really nice group at wide receiver, bringing it back for the quarterback. Of course, you've got to replace Kenneth Walker. But again, the Seahawks team, not overly active. I expect them to be active as all these 5-6 teams in wave 2, wave 3 of free agency. So how does all this free agency stuff affect the draft? It certainly affects the draft. Again, pro departments, again, you have done all your reports. You're a part of the free agency process now. You continue to monitor deals, see if anybody needs additional work, phone calls, all that kind of good stuff. But as the pro department starts to shift and think about draft time, again, that is what you're starting to think about is draft needs. First round, maybe first 2 to 3 rounds, teams have a really good idea. Again, that's going to be, hey, massive holes, the way the board's going to fall. You can do better really in the top 50, really knowing what teams are going to do. Day 3, though, is all about balancing your ability as a team to stay right where we're at, or if we have targeted a player, want to go get him, what are the chances he falls to us? Do we need to move up 4, 5, 6 spots? Do we need to move up in front of team X, Y, or Z because we believe they have a huge need at that position as well, and they really like this player? That becomes the really fun strategy part of getting into the NFL draft, is thinking, hey, we're sitting here at pick 150. At 143, there's a team that, man, I don't think the guy's going to get past there. Do we need to, who's got pick 142? Let's move up. After 143, the rest of these 6, 7, 8 teams, they don't have a major need at whatever it is. Offensive line, we think if he gets past 143, we think we'll get him, but we're not sure. Again, that becomes a fun strategy. You put up those needs. Pro department really active on day 3 as you start to think about that. Again, you've got educated guesses on a lot of these teams. You've been doing work. You probably advanced them during the season. It is still a projection game. And just like you're doing this, there's 31 other teams, 30 other teams thinking about that pick as well. So again, you're going to be competing with them. Again, team at 142 may be getting multiple phone calls because somebody else knows that team at 143 is going to be picking that player if he makes it there. Team 43 could be sweating bullets. Hey, if we get this guy falling to us, we're pulling the card. Draft room rule, you don't ever say the player's name. You don't pull his card early. Again, don't want to jinx yourself if you're superstitious like that. Again, all part of that pro process, all part of the draft process. Pro departments involved in it. So who, in your opinion, has done the best work in free agency? One of these very active teams, or one maybe on the more inactive side at this point? Let me know. At RightStepADV is where you can find me. Hit me up. We're back tomorrow with Rob Ianello of Kansas Football, the GM there, talking all things Kansas, all things Rock Chalk. We are scouting the league. We hit on all things scouting here, so don't just watch, keep scouting.